Men are told to improve themselves, women are told they are perfect as are. This is something I've noticed a lot, in both dating and the world as a whole. Men and women are given totally different messages. Men are told to improve themselves, work on themselves, work on their hobbies, work on their social skills, go to the gym, lose weight, anything designed to make them a better person. This is the narrative that men grow up believing, or they learn it pretty quickly and told they aren't entitled to anything. Whereas for women, the message is literally the opposite. Women are told you are beautiful just the way you are. They are told that a good man will love them for who they are. They all believe this and parrot it on social media or dating sites. Particularly, you will come across a lot of overweight women who openly state that they have curves and a man must be able to handle them. Another way of saying I don't want to put in the effort to change or improve myself. We seem to have taught women not to do anything for the pleasure of a man, yet men should be open to giving in for pleasure of woman. They will put on makeup and wear nice clothes, often just to impress other women, but that's about as far as any improvement goes, and women view the makeup and clothes as just being themselves anyway. They all seem to believe they are entitled to a gorgeous man who will treat them right, without improving any aspect of themselves. Why is the message so different between the two sexes? Who or what is to blame for it? As a girl with a bunch of guy friends, I definitely understand this. You know the old dating advice, just be yourself. Yeah, that really doesn't apply to guys at all, especially shy ones. People were so concerned about sexism towards women that they've completely turned the tables, and now the general population is sexist towards men instead. Kind of ironic, really. There are many other examples. Edit this blew up, haha. This issue is very complex and multifaceted. There is a whole slew of factors that go into why the message is so different, but I think the crux of the issue is what society values most in each of the sexes. We place a lot of value on youth and physical beauty in women. Whenever we come across a beautiful woman, we can't help but perceive her as perfect. This is a well-documented phenomenon called the halo effect. Men, on the other hand, are taught that their worth as human beings is firmly tied to how much they have succeeded in terms of the consensus reality, their social status, their wealth, how successful they are in their career, how fit they are, how many men respect them, how many women desire them, and so on. They are constantly under immense pressure to be grand achievers, and so it's no surprise that most of them never get to a point where they feel like they are enough. Hollywood also perpetuates this bullshit fantasy that the man has to win the woman, he has to be worthy, which women internalize, and it gives them a false sense of entitlement, as well as teaches them that they're perfect as they are, they don't need to change, and that eventually a Prince Charming will come and sweep them off their feet. And when I tell a girl to lose weight for her own good, not to die of diabetes, note, I said it in the most polite way possible, and I'm still a bad person because I fat shamed her. Women need to stop living in their bubble. Not an opinion, but that's a true statement. That whole, asterisk, if you cannot accept me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best, asterisk, really backfired on my wife. I quote Marilyn Monroe at her every time she complains about me being lazy on days off. 100% of the time it works every time. It's a quote from a decoration in her college apartment bathroom. I used to read it over and over again while taking a shit. This was pre-smartphone era, don't hate, appreciate. She'd complain about me stinking up her apartment, then I'd quote the plaque directly and she'd rage stomp away. Actually, I think a more accurate assessment of the situation is that both men and women are given ridiculously high expectations from a young age. But because of the increasing popularity of feminist/liberal ideas in society, we are starting to see those ridiculous expectations for women being challenged and rejected, hence the increasing message, you are beautiful just the way you are. However, those same ideas aren't translating across to men. People aren't giving men the same message. Women were not always told they are perfect as they are, and in many ways are still constantly being told what they should do or be. But I think we as a society are just starting to realize how bunk that is. Hopefully we do the same for men pretty soon. In some feminist circles there is a lot of discussion of how society hurts men and a call to change it. It's just not catching on as quickly as they're hoping. Men are forced to compete whereas women just wait at the finish line and fuck the winners. That's why women always feel like the working world is set up for them to fail. It's not. The difference is that men are told to change themselves to be wanted, women are told that anything that doesn't want them is inherently bad. Agreed. Women to men, you need to start making some changes or this isn't going to work. Man replies, okay. Men to women, you need to start making some changes or this isn't going to work. Women replies, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Careful there bud, keep asking questions like that you'll get called a misogynist. Also, this https://www. reddit.com/r/unpopular opinion/men_r_told_women_r_told/e of 70wb UTM_medium equals Android_app and UTM_source equals share. This is kinda true. Every time I ask for advice on Reddit I'll get told to improve myself, and basically everything you said. I think it helps us men in the long run, but it sucks for the women that believe they are beautiful and doing fine when they're not and they actually need to improve themselves too. Maybe it's because when you tell a man to improve himself he will, but when you tell that to a woman she starts crying. I knew a girl who was unfortunately brainwashed with this mentality and we were friends and eventually a rift grew because she'd get mad when I hit her with logic. She was always having dating problems that were one thing in reality, a different thing in her head. In her head, guys just want to use you and not commit. In reality, she'd meet men online and would always end up dating beyond her league and then they'd ghost her. I remember she put on more weight, she was chunky to begin with, and then tried to hook up with a fit military guy online, met him, and then he ghosted her. No duh. It would be like Zach Galifianakis chasing Gisele Bündchen. Every once in a while she'd meet a black guy who'd do her good, because the stereotype that good-looking black men like average-looking chunky white girls is true, unfortunately, and then she's come out of it thinking all men want to ravage her that bad. Unpopular, I see a lot of red pilling in here. Yeehaw. Gonna give it to you straight. Women are trophies for men and how well they live their lives. Plain and simple. I wish I lived in communities where this happened. LOL. Where were you guys to lie to me and tell me I was perfect? I've missed out. LOL. Yes, society is structured to make sure women feel good about themselves. That's why so many of them obsessively facetune their pictures on Instagram, get plastic surgery, and have eating disorders. Also, to the extent they are called perfect, by companies trying to look nice while implicitly pointing out their imperfections and personal failure for not being happy, they are also characterized as incapable of improvement in a serious way. This opinion is bad and hopefully unpopular. LMAO, I'll be fair and say both genders have their unique experiences with insecurities and how they're cultivated. Okay, I'll elaborate a bit. When a woman or girl thinks themselves unattractive, the reply that everyone thinks is positive is no, you're beautiful, because you can't be unattractive. That's it, it's not a thing to say yeah but so what. You're great anyway because it's a big deal for a woman to be unattractive, like you just can't be ugly. Not an option. It seems like society is overcorrecting for telling women what to do for so long. Be a size 2, be good at cooking, don't be a prude but also don't be a slut, be a good wife and mother, etc. And then, as society always does, it goes to the extreme and decided to tell women the right man will love you for who you are. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Loosely translated, I'm a bitch. LOL, Run for the hills when you read crap like that. Particularly you will come across a lot of overweight women who openly state that they have curves and a man must be able to handle them. I actually like this because it gives us a good way to reject them. Hey, let me set you up with my friend, here's a picture of her. I don't think I could handle her. This sub is gonna get quarantined if posts that don't reflect Reddit's mainstream leftist agenda continue to gain popularity. #ManUp. 100% yes to this. Men have to put in most of the effort in pretty much everything. Relationship included. We must drop everything in order to keep the woman happy or else. It's the princess syndrome basically. Where media, hey you Disney, says all women are princesses and need to be treated as such, need to find the perfect man who will basically die for them and basically just be there for their needs. I try to improve myself to stave off boredom and malaise. Nothing is worse than a self-satisfied perfect person, the fucking worst. So, if you want to take responsibility for your life, male or female, never stop improving. If you think society demands you're flawed, you are, but mostly because you started making/believing in excuses instead of working on improving yourself. Actual unpopular opinion, it's true and that's okay. Men and women are really different on many things and shouldn't be considered equals on a lot of them. Men should be men and women should be women. I think you are maybe not seeing things from a woman's perspective here, which is understandable. As women we feel immense pressure to look beautiful. From a very young age, we are taught that it is the main thing we have to offer society, whereas men are taught that their values lie in their accomplishments, as you mentioned. Perhaps we are always told how beautiful and perfect we are as children because that's what our parents hope for us, knowing subconsciously that we will need that in order to succeed. Whereas men are told to work hard and accomplish things because their parents know that they will need ambition in order to succeed. As we get older, men are embraced and labeled as distinguished, while women are given the message that our value is steadily decreasing. So these overweight women that you mentioned are actually under a ton of pressure. If they aren't able to maintain this picture perfect identity that society expects, they turn to food for comfort. They desperately want someone to love them as they are because they generally feel like they have to be Barbie in order to be lovable. Women eat out of depression because food fills the void that is created when we walk around all day feeling like we are failing as women. Whereas men do not have that intense pressure on them to look a certain way, therefore they are just living their lives and are perhaps more able to pursue healthy habits from a place of confidence and self-love.